Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news, and I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for all the birthday messages coming in. Very kind of people to acknowledge it and be kind about it. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But let's get on with the show. And as I said, look, quite a few things to talk about. I mean, look, it's not always Man United news. Little tip for people. Don't always focus on Manchester United news because you'll pick things up that relate to Manchester United from other clubs. Chelsea, Koundé, we'll be talking about that. Credible sources around Chelsea talking about Koundé being a target for them. We'll lose that battle if Chelsea go in, as we know. Also a bit about Konate, who Liverpool have got as well. Dembele, injury updates on Rashford, Mata, Telles, a little bit from captain Harry Maguire talking about leaders and David De Gea. We've got Solskjaer's press conference at 1. I'm sure he'll be asked about David De Gea as well. But I want to start off with Erling Haaland. I think the title of the show is Haaland Not The Man, or Forget Haaland. I'm sure many of you watched the Champions League last night. What else would you do? I mean, two cracking games really. Real Madrid against Liverpool and Dortmund, Man City. Dortmund a little bit unlucky not to get the point, not to get the draw, but still in the tie. Thank you to Telephone One. Says happy birthday, Mark. My 30th today too. Happy to share it with you. Goat. Happy birthday, mate. So yeah, I mean, look, I've said this for a long time, and I think we've been talking about this for a long time. Let's expand this for a moment. Obviously, my opinion is that I do worry about Manchester United strategy-wise. A lot of people have been asking me to watch this video. I think it's Rabana TV about Manchester United and, you know, how much money we've wasted. I mean, I watched the first minute and I turned it off, to be honest with you, because it's not telling me anything I don't know. This club was bought on debt. It's still in debt. It was bought by business people. It's still owned by business people. It's a disgrace what's happened to Manchester United in relation to the ownership. Can I do anything about it? Can you do anything about it? Not on our own. Collectively, there is something that can be done. But there's too much infighting in the United fan base. There's too many people who think they're better than everybody else arguing with each other. So, you know, the Glazers prosper. So I don't need to watch videos by anybody, no matter how well put together they are, because I already know what the situation is. It's a farce. And it eclipses anything we're doing this season, last season, 10 years ago or 10 years' time. So on that, you know, it is what it is. But beyond the ownership, I also look at the way the club is being run, and I really do query it. Why is it that we are obsessed with Erling Haaland? Like, it makes no sense, and it makes me worry because we've seen it with Moyes, we saw it with Van Gaal, we saw it with Mourinho. Man United fans were saying, why is he picking that player? Why is he buying that player? Why is he playing that system? And people go, oh, shut up. You don't know more than Moyes. You don't know more than Mourinho. You don't know more than Van Gaal. And then the fans get proved right. And I just worry with this obsession about Erling Haaland we're about to make. Hopefully we won't be able to afford it, but one of the most costly mistakes we'll ever make. I think this could be the biggest financial error United ever make if they go and buy Erling Haaland. I really genuinely believe it's the worst thing they could do this summer. But it's weird because Erling Haaland is a fantastic player. I think he's brilliant. But if you've not watched a lot of him, and I know most of us have, last night was a prime example of what we've been talking about for weeks. What's the point in spending 175 million? And it will be at least that, 150 to Dortmund, and then maybe 30, 40 to agents and everything else signing on fees. So you go in above 175 million for one player who, if you take last night, but there's plenty of other examples, they're 5th in the league. He's had this problem all season. If he doesn't get the service, he doesn't win your games. Dortmund are not in the top 5. They're not. Sorry, they're 5th. They're not in the top 4. If Haaland's the final piece of Man United's jigsaw, why has he not won the title at Dortmund? Because he can't do it on his own. You don't go and spend that amount of money on one player. And I'm sorry, I don't care whether you're an ex-player, a top red, Sky Sports, whoever. I don't care. Man United are not one striker away from winning the title. Man United are not even one striker away from coming second next year. We could buy Erling Haaland and finish 5th. I genuinely think that could happen. Because if he can finish 5th with Dortmund, who've arguably got a much better midfield than us, he can finish 5th with Man United, who've got a shit midfield. So I like Haaland, but I think the warning signs are there, and this obsession is just ridiculous. Signing Haaland is like a toxic relationship, thinking having a child will solve all their problems, says Dion. What a brilliant... I tell you what, that's probably one of the best stories I've ever heard, Dion. So basically, an unhappy marriage decide having a child will solve their unhappy marriage. I like that. It's good. It's unfair on the child. Mark, do you think maybe Ollie will play De Gea in the Europa League because that's our best chance for a trophy and top four is done? Well, we'll find out about that later, Daniel, in his press conference. Shrinkan, thank you for joining the members club. Happy birthday, Mark. Hope you have a great day and hope the family is safe, says Jack Keane. Thank you very much. And Mark, we share the same birthday. Have a good one. Greetings from Malta, says Tom. Thank you very much. There. So yes, I think that in relation to this, it's becoming a little bit of a concern. I mean, look, the whole De Gea thing concerns me anyway. What we're doing with Pogba concerns me. What our transfer budget is concerns me. But I would rather Solskjaer came out at lunchtime and said, I can categorically tell you that we're not signing Erling Haaland. I'd probably celebrate that. I'd be like, thank God this circus is over. I just find it so bloody frustrating that we're meant to get excited about trying to sign Erling Haaland. I think it's one of the stupidest things we've ever thought of doing. And it just, again, what worries me about it is it shows a distinct concern around our coaching setup, our new director of football, our chief executive, that they think this deal's a good deal. And let's not forget, most important of all, Erling Haaland is bigger than the football club if he comes to Man United. Erling Haaland is bigger than Dortmund. And Mino Raiola is bigger than Dortmund. And as soon as you buy Erling Haaland at 20 years of age, he ain't staying here till he's 30. He's staying here till he's 23. And about a year into his contract, it starts. Madrid, this, that and the other. So you spend all your budget on one player who within 12 months is going to start disrupting things because of his agent anyway. So I just think, get out of this deal and build a bloody football club. Build a football club. Look at Dortmund yesterday against Man City. They couldn't really get the service to Haaland. He had one good chance. They couldn't get him the service. We know if you watch Manchester United, if you actually watch United, we don't create chances for our number 9. Why go and buy a number 9? Happy birthday, Mark. Love you, mate. And your content, says Eddie. Thank you very much. Sancho, Milinkovic, Trippier will improve us way more than Haaland, says Abdul. I think you're right, Abdul. I think there's numerous. If you're spending £150 million on one player, I'd spend that £150 million on 3 players, and you could buy a centre back, a CDM, a cam. You could buy a right winger, a right back, a centre back. You could buy a CDM, a half decent striker, and a right winger, and you would improve that whole team much more than you'd improve it with Erling Haaland. I don't. The thing about Erling Haaland is I think he's a fantastic striker, and I think if you put him in a Chelsea side, he'd, he could be the final piece in the puzzle. Definitely. You look at the chances that Werner's missed this season, and look, this is my big thing. Compare Werner at Chelsea to Cavani at Manchester United. How many big chances has Cavani missed this season? How many big chances has Werner missed this season? That's when you spend a lot of money on a striker, because you can categorically see that, if we'd had a decent striker, we'd have scored more goals and we'd have more points. Think about United. Let's buy a striker. All right, where's all the chances we've missed then? PSG, Martial, 1. Tell me more. Come on. How do we improve our points tally? Because I don't think we do. I think that United need to box clever on this, and this weird obsession with spending all your money on one player is weird. I mean, to be honest, let me flip it the other way as well. If we were going to spend 120 million on Jadon Sancho, I'd say the same. Like, one player won't make a difference. We need a centre back, a centre defensive midfielder, and then a right winger or a striker. That's what we need. We don't need one superstar signing. Imagine if we just go and buy Sancho in the summer. Again, fantastic player, but it doesn't solve the problem. And we could do that. We might, who's to say we're not going to spend everything on Sancho, which again would be another mistake, even bigger mistake, because you've bought Diallo and Palestri and now you've spent all your money on another right winger with no centre-back and no CDM. So United need to build a team. I can't believe we're not thinking about building a team. I can't believe we're allowing this obsession about Haaland to be circulating in the fan base, because there are United fans out there who genuinely think we're going to get Haaland and think it's a good idea. United need to get hold of their communications department and sort out what's going on, because again, what's going on this summer transfer? Do you know what's happening this summer transfer window? We're Manchester United fans. We invest a lot of time into this football club, and their communication is piss poor again. What are we doing? Who are you looking at? What positions are you looking at? Because one day it's a centre back and a right back, the other day it's a striker, then it's a right winger, now it's a goalkeeper. Sometimes it's a CDM. Lingard is going, no he's not. Pogba is going, no he's not. Cavani is going, no he's not. De Gea's going, Henderson's going. Like, it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. And I think I do think that United think it's a good idea to keep it messy because then, oh, look at the social media interaction. But actually, well-run clubs lead to well-run fan bases. And I think, look, Man City today, De Bruyne commits till 2025. Man United can't keep Pogba. And that's a very big story today. And look, Man City are doing way better than us. But the sad thing about Manchester City is 10 years ago, we were the big team in Manchester. 10 years later, Manchester City are the big team in Manchester. Not in relation to fan base, but in relation to footballing ability and likelihood of winning big trophies. Man City are better than us. 10 years ago, they weren't. Who's been in charge for 10 years and who's been the chief executive for 10 years? You know, this is the problem with Man United. Man City, they're a well-oiled club, pardon the pun, but they might not have the fan base, but they do things very, very well. They win last night, De Bruyne, a 5-year deal. United, Granada, Thursday night Europa League football, Pogba's still not going to stay. So the contrast between where we should be and where they are is getting worse, to be honest with you. But I think a lot of that comes down to the club's not run that well. They employ these bloody mates rates and social media experts, and I don't think they're doing a great job at all. I think it's confused, and I think it's frustrating, and I think the standards have dropped. And I don't think they've really got the right people in that football club at the moment in relation to where the club's being run. I think we all know that. But the messages they put out are just very, very fuzzy. They're very arrogant. They think you are hysterical. All they want is your money. There's just not... And the most important of all, the communication that comes out of that club is just so wishy-washy. It's... You just don't know what's going on. You don't know whether you've got clean laundry or dirty laundry because it's all being hung out. Official Napa, thank you very much for the members joining the members club there. And who actually at the end of the day says let's go and buy X player? Is it Ollie? Literally, why would they think that buying a striker when we literally already have 6 of them? We need a bloody midfield, says Matthew. Well, we'll see what happens with Haaland. But as I said, I think if you've watched Haaland recently for Dortmund, and I'm talking the last 4 or 5 months, and I'm not talking like watch it religiously, but if you see their results, he hasn't even got him in the top 4. If you look at him last night, prime example of what happens when he doesn't get service. He's a striker. He's not Lionel Messi. He's not coming back to the halfway line, skipping past 4 or 5 players and putting it in the top corner. He needs service. What's United's big problem? We don't provide service. I mean, let me just put it like this. Manchester United are obsessed about buying one of the best number 9s in the world. Manchester United can't provide service to their number 9. How does that work? Who sits in a boardroom and goes, we don't provide service to our number 9. Let's spend everything on a new number 9. Yeah, I heard a pin drop as well. You know, it's absolutely crazy, to be honest with you. But the story continues. The obsession continues. What did I think about the referee yesterday, Jonas? Well, I thought Bellingham's goal was a goal, but to be fair, Dortmund did get a goal, and I think City probably on balance deserved to win it 2-1, so at least it keeps the tie alive in that sense. Let's move on, because there are other stories to talk about. I want to talk about, thank you, James Cunningham, thank you, says happy birthday there. I want to talk about the, I've just joined, had an eye operation last night, so off work today. All the best, Martin, happy birthday to you. Have a blessed day. Keep up the good work, says Josh Newton. I hope you're recovering well, Josh. Thank you very much for the super chat. I want to talk about Kunde very, very quickly. Vishal says happy birthday. Doing an excellent job. Keep it up. Mine is tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Vishal. Manchester United playing as well, which is great. You can check out the preview for that. I put that up yesterday afternoon, although I was cut short a little bit. Thank you to the internet. But happy birthday, Mark. Have a good day from myself and the official Mark Goldbridge Discord, says Nick Lewis. Thanks, Nick. So, Kunde, Chelsea. News, I think it was late last night or this morning, that Chelsea are now putting Kunde onto their list for centre-back. Now, this becomes a problem because as soon as a competent club moves for a target we want, we won't get him. Jules Kunde, to me, looks absolutely perfect for what Manchester United want. He's definitely available. But, I read this and I started to get that feeling in the stomach. You know, Bayern Munich have got Upamecano. Alaba's going to go to Madrid. Liverpool look like they're going to get Konate, or there's a story with United there. And United have that sort of free path, really, to get Kunde. And then Chelsea, we'd like Kunde. And you can just see Kunde at Chelsea. You can't see him at United. I actually already can see him in a blue Chelsea shirt more than I can see him in a red United shirt. And again, look, doesn't mean he's going to go to Chelsea, But again, what are Manchester United doing? Because I'm telling you now, if we're going for Milenkovic at Fiorentina over Koundé, if Chelsea get Koundé and we get Milenkovic, that's a bloody disgrace. Milenkovic is a good centre-back, but he doesn't complement Harry Maguire. He's just a cheap option. Stop buying 5th and 6th choices and go and get the players that are going to make a big difference. And I like Milenkovic at Fiorentina, but he's a tall, not particularly fast centre-back. Is that what we need? Or do we need a quick centre-back to play next to Harry Maguire? And that's what Manchester United need. It's so bloody straightforward. Just go and get the player. So I'm a little bit worried about the news that Koundé and Chelsea are now being linked. And hopefully United will get their arse into gear around that. John R says, Haaland's not necessary. Greenwood should have chance to be number 9 for the next 10 years. We are told he has unlimited potential. Buy elsewhere. Yeah, well, I agree with you that. I agree with you on that. How Man City is progressing. Do you think they will be a bigger club than United in the next 20 years with the new generation of fan base? Says Sridget. Well, they're a better club than Manchester United already, Manchester City, and you judge that on who's got more chance of winning the Champions League and the Premier League, and it's Man City every year for the last however many years. So we've already fallen behind Manchester City. Do I think they'll be a bigger club than Manchester United in 20 years? It's hard to predict that because I don't know how this is going to work. Man City are struggling with anyone actually giving a shit. There are Man City fans out there. There's more and more of them. But can you overturn a fan base as big as Liverpool or Manchester United in 20 years? I'm not sure you can. 20 years is not actually that long. All right, you might get a new generation of fans supporting them, but you know there's going to be millions and millions of people that are still alive in 20 years still supporting Man United and Liverpool. So it might take a little bit longer than that. The problem with Man City is they're not respected by the media. They're not respected by football fans because people just see them as a brand, as a manufactured. You know, it's a bit like Take That versus Oasis. Take That have sold a lot of albums and you know they've probably won a lot of awards, but Take That are not respected like Oasis are because Oasis are a proper band that was put together, you know, and worked, you know, up from nothing to something. Take That was manufactured. So I think that taking nothing away from Take That, I like some of their songs. I like Kevin De Bruyne, but that's Man City's problem is that they're the Take That of football. They're the One Direction. They're manufactured. Doesn't mean they won't be successful, but will they ever have that respect? That's the thing they've got to overcome. And, you know, only time will tell if fans in their millions adore Manchester City. I don't know. Happy birthday, Mark. You don't need to read this out. Been following United Stand for a couple of years and it's helped me make sense of the circus that is our club, says Prestaris Rex. Thank you very much, mate. And Salah Ahmed, if we get Mings, White and Koundé goes to Chelsea, that shows the lack of ambition of one club to be the best and the ambition of Chelsea to be the best. That is absolutely spot on, Salah. I mean, look, whatever about the centre forward, I don't think we need to buy Erling Haaland because of the fees involved. And Salah says, happy birthday, thank you very much. But you're absolutely spot on about ambition. If United want to be a good football club, you buy a good centre-back. You don't go and get some... I mean, Mings or Ben White or Milenkovic, to me, they're like, you want a centre-back, there's a centre-back. Koundé, Varane, Upamecano, it's like, there's a very good centre-back. We want to win. It's like Ollie goes, I want a centre-back. Does he just get a centre-back or does he get someone that improves us? Now, Eurosport are saying that Manchester United could enter the race for Konate, which Liverpool are obviously winning from Leipzig. I mean, I like Konate. There are injury concerns there, but the fact that Liverpool are looking at him would probably make me think twice about those injury concerns. Having said that, I'd prefer Koundé. But I don't... Again... I don't think Eurosport are particularly worth looking at, and also I think that I don't see how Manchester United would win a race against Liverpool anyway. If Konate wants to go and play for a team, you're going to go and play for Liverpool. And I know Liverpool are struggling at the moment, but you're still going to go to Liverpool ahead of Manchester United. To be honest with you, if I don't support Manchester United, I'm not going to go to Manchester United at the moment because Liverpool have got a better coach, they play better football, as do Manchester City. Chelsea, I think Chelsea will beat us because they've got better people in their transfer team. That's why Chelsea will beat us. Do Chelsea beat us because they're a better team? Arguable. I don't think that's the case, but yeah, I don't think we're going to steal Konate from Liverpool unless we do what we normally do. The way I see it, United stand is bigger than Man City. Happy birthday, says Sheikh. Love from India. Thanks for that, mate. And also, put down a 40 million down payment this season, then pay the rest of the 80 million the following season to spread the payment and stop anyone else stealing him, says Steve. Tattersall. I don't know who we're talking about there. Maybe Koundé. I don't think Koundé is going to cost. Frank Carver says happy 60th, you cheeky git. I don't think Koundé is going to cost 80. I think he's going to probably cost 60. And Liverpool might not be able to offer a Champions League spot, but look, we couldn't offer a Champions League spot to Pogba. I think we've got to be very careful about that. I'm sure people will say, well, if Chelsea don't get the Champions League, Koundé will come to United, or if Liverpool don't get Champions League, Konate will come to United. That's not necessarily the case. It's not necessarily the case. And as we saw, Pogba left the Champions League club to come to us when we were in the Europa League under Mourinho. So players will do it. Mark, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Watched all the highlights of Ghana. He's definitely one for the future, says Shane O'Hare. But not next year with United. And if City wins the treble, I'll be crushed. How could we allow this to happen? Happy birthday, mate. Have a pint for you tonight, says AJ Flores. Thank you very much for that. And happy birthday, should we buy Andre Silva, says Sudip. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you do with the striker situation, because I do really believe that Mason Greenwood is the player that deserves a chance at number 9. I really do. So imagine if you bought Haaland, what happens to Greenwood? I mean, will he hardly ever play, really? I don't know. Hope you winners, can't wait to face you in the final, says Zane. We're playing tomorrow. And happy birthday, Mark. What about Klosterman, says Steve Locke. Well, it's a bit of a clusterfuck at the moment, isn't it, with United? We need to pull our finger out, I think, in relation to this transfer market. Anyway, moving on from that, let me just talk about Ousmane Dembele for a moment. Again, more reports linking us to Ousmane Dembele. I don't think Ousmane Dembele wants to come to Manchester United. I think we know this already, and I think that any investment in Ousmane Dembele, if you think he's coming, is probably a wasted time. I would stay where I am, Dembelance. Apparently he's had the best season he's ever had, and I've been told this by numerous people who really didn't realise, obviously, that he was out in December with a hamstring injury. He's got breadstick hamstrings. I don't want a player like this. He's very, very injury prone, especially round his hamstrings. And that's not going to change for the rest of his career. It isn't. So I don't want a player like that. Also, they talk about United and Juventus being interested. He's got 1 year left on his contract, but he doesn't want to come to United, because he could have come to United at the start of the season and he chose not to. We couldn't convince him. So I don't think he wants to come to United anyway. I don't want him at United, so let's move on from that story. But United did try to get him once, so they could try and get him again. I simply don't want him because of his injury record. That's what it is. I think you've got to look at those things in the modern game. There's no point having a really good player who's spending half a season out injured every season. There's just no point. You're better off having a slightly worse player who plays 90% of your season. So I don't want him for that reason, but I don't think he wants to come to United anyway. I think he wants to stay at Barcelona or maybe go Juventus. I don't think he's got any intention of coming to United, but we do keep getting linked to him, so and we did try to get him last summer. Watching Brighton the other day, able to pass and move easily with their players. There cannot be any excuses for the dishwater football we play, says Red Baron. It wasn't something I wanted to dwell on, Red Baron, but I must admit you're correct. I thought the way Brighton passed out from the back under pressure, we did press them. Every one of their players was comfortable. They knew where they were going to pass it. They didn't panic. They could transition from back to front, especially in the first half, very quickly. We don't move the ball like that. There's a training ground issue with the way Man United... Oh, Steve Tattersall was talking about Haaland. Okay. Well, it'll be more than 80 million. Happy birthday, Mark. London is red, says Zane. And happy birthday, Mark. Do you think Axel and James Garner can solve our defence issues and Amad Diallo our right-wing issues? Well, Sachin, Garner's not a defender. He's a he's a midfielder. He might not even be a CDM, and I don't think he's ready next year. As for Twansebi, I'd play him tomorrow night, but I think he's probably finished at United, which is really sad. He's not been given enough opportunity. But I've said this for a few times. United's football style needs to change next season or Solskjaer will be sacked. A lot of people say, why do you back Solskjaer when you don't like the way he plays football? But it's the same situation as 3 years ago. Mourinho, I didn't like his style of football, but he got us second in the league. I was like, will the club back the manager and will we improve the next season? They didn't, we didn't, he was sacked. And I think the same thing could happen with Solskjaer. He's got to improve the way we play. And I watch the way United play, and if you use the Brighton game as an example, but you could use Leicester or countless other teams, they move the ball quickly. Other teams move the ball quickly, and they've got it. It's almost inbred to them in the training that when you get the ball, look forward, pass the ball, and it's done very quickly. With United, even Bruno and Pogba do it now. It's like a ball comes in, control it, have a look, maybe take another touch and find a pass. It's almost like they're being coached to do that. Look after the ball. Don't Don't play risky passes. Just keep the possession and you can't make a mistake. And it feels like that's what we do. Most of our team do it. They'll get the ball. They'll always take a touch. They'll have a look and then they'll play the pass. They sometimes take 2 touches. There's no urgency or tempo in the play. It's interesting because we've heard Solskjaer come out after the game saying there was no urgency. And you think, well, you talk about there's no urgency or tempo. And I agree, Ollie. But why would the players not do that? It looks to me like we are purposely looking after the ball and possession rather than looking to move the ball quickly. Because look, if you move the ball quickly, the chances of you losing the ball are obviously higher, but the chances of you creating space against the opposition is higher. We seem to be very obsessed with, take a touch, have a look around, play a pass. The trouble is, at the highest level of football, if you take a touch and look around, you're not going to find anything because good teams at that level will close spaces and mark people up. So, yeah, I think we've got to improve the way we play. We shouldn't have sold Valencia better than Wan-Bissaka. No, I think Valencia was done, Matthew, to be honest. There's no rhythm in the passing, says Lucas. There's no tempo in the passing. There's no tempo in the team ethos. I like that word, ethos. We're not, you can tell with Brighton that they're an energetic side that wants to move the ball quickly. In a sentence, you've described Brighton's style of play. United's style of play is measured. One word, measured. It's not tempo. It's not looking to create space. It's not looking to hurt the opposition. It's measured. And that is coaching. That's not being a PE teacher. That's coaching because Mourinho's done that for years. It's a possession-based game. It involves coaching, but it just isn't the way we want to play. I mean, there's no point saying he hasn't got any tactics. He has got tactics. It's just not the tactics we want. To be honest with you, we don't show enough urgency at all, Mounier. Anyway, we'll be hearing from Solskjaer at 1 o'clock today, and we will be live straight after that. But just to bring you things, Rashford didn't train yesterday. As I said in my preview yesterday, Rashford shouldn't be playing in this game on tomorrow night because he's clearly not fit, and I don't think he's been fit for a very long time. Mark Dobby says there's no tempo in the manager's attitude, so you can't expect it on the pitch. I mean, look, that might be an interesting thing. I've never really studied that. I don't know what you think on this. A lot of you do say, how can there be tempo in the team when there's no tempo in the manager? I.e., he sits on the side looking at his laptop, rubbing his chin, not really doing anything. Obviously, other managers like Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, they're very animated, and their teams are quite animated. I wonder. I mean, look, better people than us could analyse this, especially sports psychologists. Sports psychologists. Sorry, they're something that have come into sport massively in the last 20 years. I wonder if there is something in that, and some of you might work in that industry. That do players respond more energetically when they've got coaches that are more energetic? There will be examples of coaches that are quite measured where that hasn't happened, but. As I've said before, I've not played competitive football for a very long time under a decent coach. But when I used to play, I remember look, the best period of my footballing life was probably aged between 15 and 17. They were the best teams I played for. And our school coach was very reserved and our weekend coach was very passionate. And I think the school team, results-wise, we were sort of neck and neck. There was different play. We had about half a team the same in both and different players in the other halves. But I think that I responded better to a coach who bollocked me. But it's individuals, isn't it? Like the weekend coach would have a go at me. I'd get really angry and then I'd get determined to prove them wrong. The school coach was probably more like Ollie, who would maybe have a word with you in quiet and stuff like that, which was also rewarding, but didn't help you in the game, if you know what I mean. So I think it's different things. Ollie has Ricky on speed dial when he comes to stuck in training, says Luke 82. And I'd run faster being chased by a bear than I would a puppy, says Mark Dobby. Good analogy. Good analogy there. So yeah, Rashford didn't train, but Mata and Torres are av. Let's play like Brighton and Leeds and try and stay up, says Robert McCormack. Yeah, but Roberts, I will answer that one straight away. I think if you gave Potter and Bielsa the players that we've got, then we wouldn't be fighting with relegation, would we? I think the problem people have is that we play these teams that are clearly nowhere near as good as in relation to personnel, but they play better football than us, and that isn't acceptable. You know, if Man City played Brighton and got played off the park, everyone would be like, what the fuck's going on here then? You know, if Brighton do that to Man City, that's an issue, but that won't happen, will it? Because Man City play good football as well. But look, you know, I'm not saying Potter and Bielsa would do a better job than Ole. I think there's reasons why they probably wouldn't, but their football is better with lesser quality players, without a shadow of a doubt. So Mata and Telles are back. Elanga has been added to the squad as well, who's a young winger stroke striker from the youth setup, because we're a little bit short there. I don't think he'll be involved. I mean, it's good to have Mata back. He's had some personal issues, as we know, with the loss of his mother, so it's good to have him back in a United shirt. I mean, look, you have to take away the personal circumstances. We know Juan Mata's a fantastic player and a fantastic man, but I don't think he's going to add a lot to this team in the last few weeks, other than personnel. And I would let him go in the summer. It's interesting, actually, just to bring in Mata and De Gea, who obviously get on very, very well. Both could leave the club this summer. Harry Maguire's been talking to the Man United website, talking about leaders in the dressing room, and he's mentioned Bruno Fernandes. But he also spoke about David De Gea, Juan Mata and Matic, which flies in the face of this stuff that there's a dressing room rebellion, and that, you know, the English players could be the snake who've done David over. Look, I had people calling me out yesterday saying, oh, why is Goldbridge talking about that article just creating problems? That article about United having a dressing room source saying that there's division in the dressing room, that Solskjaer was weak and all this. This is coming from a journalist who definitely has connections with Manchester United and sources at Manchester United, 100%. This is a journalist who had the team news out there 3 hours before everybody else at the weekend, or an outlet that did. So I know people don't necessarily like the Manchester Evening News, and I get that, but I'm not going to let my opinion of an outlet or a journalist cloud what we're meant to do on this channel, which is discuss news that we feel is credible. And I think that those stories are worth discussing because of where they're coming from and who they're coming from. Whether they're true or not, who knows? But definitely, it's not the Daily Star with Joe Bloggs writing it. It's coming from somebody and an outlet that does have a connection with Manchester United, both officially and unofficially. The Manchester Evening News has had good connections with Manchester United Football Club for decades. So, you know, it's not speculative nonsense or division to discuss leaks from the dressing room from that outlet. Then why do you want to give Ole a contract, says Abdullah? I don't know whether I want Solskjaer to have a contract. I don't know whether I've said I want Ole to get a contract. What I have said, he deserves a contract, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't think you can not give a contract to a manager that finishes second in the Premier League. But that doesn't mean you can't sack that manager 6 months later. Contracts to me are contracts, moncracts. You know, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about contracts. It doesn't mean he's going to be here for the next 3 years if he gets a 3 years contract. Like, let's be honest with Solskjaer. One bad result and most of you lot jump on him anyway. So if he gets a new contract, it's not like, oh my God, the world's over, we're stuck with him forever. If he gets a new contract and we play crap football next year, he'll be gone by Christmas. So it doesn't make a massive amount of difference. I look at the contract and I think, well, look, does he deserve a contract? I think he does, yeah. I think second in the league he does. Is the football good enough? Of course it's not. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. That it is. So Maguire was talking about leaders. Ole, we'll see what Ole's got to say about De Gea. He'll definitely be asked about De Gea. There's no doubt about that. That will happen today in the press conference. But I mean, look, I just want to say this as well. I do lament, like, I really enjoyed the Champions League last night, but there was a part of me at one point, because I was doing the watch-alongs on That's Football Like I Am Tonight, shout out, but we'll be live at 7 on here tonight as well, so you can watch the Champions League stuff at 8. But I was really enjoying the Champions League last night, and a dangerous thing dawned on me. I'm enjoying the Champions League and my club's not in it. I'm getting used to this. I'm getting used to the elite European competition not having my team in it. And I know people will say, well, we were in it. But I mean, the Champions League really only gets going in the knockout stage. And it really only gets going in the quarterfinals. And we're not there. And I'm enjoying it. I'm not enjoying us not being there. I'm just used to us not being there. And that's not acceptable. I mean, it's sad enough that United have not been in a proper title race for 8 or 9 years. But it's really sad that we're not competing in the Champions League for these last 8 or 9 years. And I know we did get to a quarter-final. I think we got to a quarter-final. I think Moyes took us to a quarter-final, didn't he? But and Ollie took us to a quarter-final as well, didn't he? Because PSG was a knockout game and then we got knocked out by Barcelona. So we've been there a couple of times, but it's not... You never felt we were really there, do you? You never feel like we're a contender. So I think, that's something that is upsetting, is how far we've fallen from the tree, really. The United's of where we should be. We should be. I personally feel that there's 2 things that you should expect from Manchester United: a title challenge every year and quarterfinals of the Champions League minimum. The FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, they can go for a swim. I'm not bothered. If you win them, great. They're Arsenal Cups. That's Arsenal measure their success by FA Cups. I mean, Arsenal have won 4 FA Cups in the last 10 years, but they're shit. So, does the FA Cup make a massive difference to your season? It's nice to win a trophy. It definitely is. But I think that United should be challenging for the title every year, and they should be quarterfinals of the Champions League every year minimum, and a contender. And we're nowhere near that at the moment. The difference between coaching Brighton and Man United: Brighton are expected to counter-attack, we're expected to dominate, says Lil Slams. But I disagree. I disagree on that. I think football's moved on now. I don't think Brighton are a part of the bus and counter-attack team. I think they tried that in the second half, but they were winning at Old Trafford. But I don't think teams do that as much now. I don't see teams... I mean, this died a long time. Teams don't come to Old Trafford scared anymore. That's not happened for 8-9 years. Teams come to Old Trafford and express themselves. It's a lovely pitch. It's like a carpet, and teams come and play football. So I don't think the old excuse that it's defence against attack and it's easier for them to express themselves. In a way, it's harder because you're in their half. Why would they be... they'd just be hitting long balls. They don't. They actually play through you. So I don't agree with that anymore. Luke says, we all love for what he's done at our club. He came in and revitalised us mentally. He's now being judged for his tactical knowledge, which in my opinion isn't good enough. But we are second. I think that's a great point from Luke. I mean, as I said, please smash a like on the video, by the way. But I'm very relaxed around the Solskjaer situation. Second in the league is good. Not Champions League. Europa League quarter-final tomorrow. We should get through to the semi-finals. We could get second and Europa League semi-final, and which is a slight improvement on third and a Europa League semi-final last year. But ultimately, we all know it's about next season. And I think Luke puts it well in that Ollie came in, revitalised the club, stabilised the club, and factually has provided more of a platform than Mourinho and Van Gaal. 2 years in a row in the top 4. That's what's going to happen. I don't think that's happened since Sir Alex Ferguson days. So that is improvement. And he's revitalised the club in that sense. But the football ain't good enough. And I think as a manager of Manchester United, there always has to be evolution. You can't rest on... Maybe the board are happy with this. This is where the fans come in. I would argue that maybe the board are quite happy for us to play football like this and get top 4 every year. Money. They're probably very happy with that. The fans won't be, though, because that's not Manchester United. So I think Solskjaer up to this point has done a very, very good job. His next challenge is to improve the football club in relation to the way we play. That's, first 2 years, stabilise the club, revitalise the club, top 4 2 years in a row, thumbs up. Next 2 years, or next year especially, you've got to improve on second, you've got to improve in the Champions League, and you've got to play good football. And that's going to be the acid test for Solskjaer, and that's where many of you think he's going to fail. But that's what he's got to do. For the Ollie inners, and that's where I am at the moment, he has got to play better football next season. If we're doing this next year, I know I'm going to be Ollie out. So, that's... You're absolutely spot on there. Your low expectations is a joke, says Abdullah. I think you don't watch this channel, Abdullah. I think you've outed yourself, because there's only one person, and I'm sure there'll be hundreds of people in the live comments who back me up on this. I've consistently said don't let the expectations of this club drop. And actually 2 minutes ago, I just said Man United's expectations each year should be in a title challenge and quarterfinals of the Champions League as contenders. I think that's the expectations of Manchester City. That's the expectations of Real Madrid. That's the expectations of Barcelona. Those expectations are absolutely fine for Manchester United. Title contender every year and quarterfinals of the Champions League minimum. That is absolutely not lowering expectations, because we're nowhere near those expectations now. And I think the situation we're in is not good enough. As I said yesterday, we're definitely progressing under Solskjaer and I'm patient around it. But 3 years ago, we were in this position with Mourinho. So is it progress, or have we taken 3 years to get back to here? I think we've taken 3 years to get back to where we were under Mourinho. And the big thing is, will the club back the summer? They didn't Mourinho. And will Ole improve next year like Mourinho didn't? It's taken us 3 years to get back to where we were 3 years ago. So that's where we are. I think the board expectations have lowered, definitely, but I don't think the fans' expectation has lowered, and I don't think it will. Anyway, look, we are live again at 1 o'clock, so I'm not going to dwell on this for too long. Ahab says you can join the members club by clicking on the button. Also, I don't actually have any with me. Actually, 1 minute, I'll be back. Being it's my birthday. It's got nothing to do with my birthday, but I keep forgetting. We've now got United Stand mugs. They're available in red. There's the black one there. And we've got a few other designs as well. The link's in the video description. They've only been out a couple of weeks. If you want to get yourself a United Stand official mug, it's got 1 million on there as well. Available in red as well. And we've got a few. We've got green and gold as well. We've got the green and gold one, which I can never show you because the green disappears with the green screen. So links in the video description for United Stand merch. Check that out as well. I'll see you for Ollie's press conference reaction just after 1 o'clock, probably about 1:30. It's going to be very interesting to see what he's got to say, considering he'll be asked quite a few things about injuries, transfers and De Gea. Speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. And thanks very much for all the birthday messages. Really appreciate it.